Hello, Internet. Your friendly neighborhood gremlin here. And today we're playing more Beacon Pines, which is bad for my channel. We're doing it anyway. Luca rubbed his eye.
The kind, concerned face of his gran came into focus.
How are you feeling? Fine? Anything you want to talk about? I don't feel like talking. That's just as well. How about you sit there and listen a bit? Whatever you and Rolla fought about doesn't matter. But he...
Gran silenced Luca with a gentle pat on the leg.
Fights between friends happen. What was said doesn't matter. The important thing is that it's not the last thing you ever say to each other. But he said stuff about Dad. Well, do you think he meant it? No. He was just mad. And did you mean the things you said to him? No. Good. One must appreciate friends in their best moments and accept them in their worst. Accept. Now get your little butt out of bed. Festival's today. You don't want to miss that, do you? I didn't think we missed the festival. I thought it was yesterday. Oh well. I guess not. Seems like a good opportunity to make amends with Rolo, doesn't it?
Luca gave a reluctant nod.
Buy him a corn dog and apologize. But he's the one that... What did I just say? I am a corn dog. That's a good boy. Everything's better with corn dogs. I need to get going now. Got some last minute festival business to take care of. I'll come find you at the fountain a little after lunch. Alright. Love you, Luca. Love you too. Oh god,
Luca
she's gonna
took a
go.
deep breath.
She's gonna go prepare things at the festival. She's gonna meet us at the fountain? She's probably not blowing up the fountain, right? I wouldn't think so. Okay.
Chapter 6. Through thick and thin. Despite Luca's bitterness, Gran was right. He needed to hash things out with Rolo. A big fight changes the nature of a friendship. Whether, in the end, it is for the better or for the worse, all comes down to understanding. If one is not careful, the same familiarity that builds the strongest of bonds can become the wrecking ball that shatters them. Luca emerged from seclusion, taking in the crisp festival air. But the events of the day weren't on his mind. He had to find Rolo.
Okay. Where do we think he would be? Did we see his house? There's Roxy. There you are. Luca. Rolo wanted me to tell you something. What is it?
Roxy rolled her eyes, shaking her head.
A space adventure? Though you needn't buy it. If ye be brave, go somewhere quiet. Roxy, I don't... It's a riddle, Luca. My goofy little brother wants you to find him.
Luca looked down and kicked at the dirt.
Look, I know you two had a fight. The only thing more annoying than my little brother is my little brother without his best friend. So I'm doing him this one favor. And I need one favor from you. Whatever it is that went down between you two, wash it. Okay, somewhere quiet. The library? Libraries are quiet. Let's go check the library. Suppose mostly I'll just cut out all of my fails. So here's the festival. Should we talk to everybody? Let's talk to all the people. Unique. I can't. I'm not any good at tongue twisters. Huh? Oh, don't mind me. Just warming up for my big ceremony speech.
Mr. Kerr pointed to his grinning mouth.
Gotta limber up the old gab box. You nervous? Oh, heavens, no. Well, break a leg. Give me the gift of something. I don't know. How goes the beetle hunt? Pretty rotten. I haven't seen so much as an exuviae. That's a word I've never seen before. And it's not just the beetles. This morning, I couldn't find any crittles at all. Like everything that buzzes or skitters just packed up and left. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Maybe all the commotion of the festival just spooked them. Yeah, maybe that's it. Talk to the clipboard. Welcome to our festival. Don't forget to come back later for Mr. Kerr's speech and the Perennial Harvest Festival sign reveal. Oh, is this a timeline where Solomon messed with the sign? I guess that's something we're gonna have to wait to find out. You don't want to miss it. I don't know who Perennial Harvest thinks they're impressing with this ridiculous festival. Totally. The town's still falling apart. The weather's still cruddy. And this season's harvest looks like it's gonna be the worst than last year's. You said it. No amount of corporate pandering is gonna change any of that. Exactly. But the lemonade at the drink stand over there does look pretty tasty. I'm still gonna be mad at them. I'd just rather be mad while sipping some delicious lemonade is all. I don't blame her. Let's go this way. I do still think. This way. Talk to this guy. Ain't moving. So they just put up balloons around him. That's nice. Talk to this guy. Oh, this is Jeff.
Jeff was staring into the distance with a wistful look.
Hey, Jeff. Everything all right? Huh? Yeah. Everything's fine. I mean, used to be fine. Just ain't right these days, you know? I really do, actually.
Jeff turned to Luca with a furrowed brow, then gave an understanding nod.
You do, don't ya?
For a moment, the two now shared that same wistful gaze.
Okay, let's talk to Iggy. Every single time. Yep. Oh, waiting for it. Unexplained sound. Once again, noted. Like clockwork. What a bunch of drones. So he has fireworks. Good to know. Okay, I'm just gonna talk to everybody, I think. This is the first time I've seen this many smiling faces since the foul harvest. I had my doubts about Perennial Harvest, but I must admit, they do put on a nice party. Well, these are the people they're impressing with their stupid festival. Book lady doesn't want to read me anything? Rude. Piper, you're actually taking a break from studying. I wanted to see what the festival fuss was all about, but I can't help but notice you still brought your backpack full of books. Luca, backpacks can carry a lot more than just books. True. So what you got in there? Books? It's okay. I also travel with at least one book at all times. Anyway, I'm gonna check up here before we continue on. I don't remember their names. Hiya, Luca. How's Griffin doing? What? Oh, nothing?
Sorry all became flesh.
Just pretend I didn't say anything. Okay, who's Griffin? I have questions. I'm gonna talk to this clipboard. The most welcoming of welcomes. Would you like to share your thoughts? We always strive to improve. No. I was able to return the Perennial Harvest safety suit you borrowed. I don't think anyone noticed. Good. Now you tell me what you needed it for. It was a favor for an enemy of my enemy. This isn't gonna harm Mr. Kerr, is it? All you need to know is that it's for the good of the family. I'm not sure if Mr. Mayor Valentine is bad or not. Luca, did you know that Beacon Pines is actually unincorporated? A lot of people don't know that. Wow, yeah, I didn't know. What's that mean? It means most public works are handled internally. We do all the pipelines, water treatment, building regulations. That's great. Census taking, emergency services. Aw, he's so cute. Hey, Luca. Are you done at the library? Huh? Oh, nothing.
Griffin looked away suspiciously.
Nothing at all. Oh, that's Griffin. Okay. So, I guess maybe we should head to the library and stop spoiling all our secrets. Let's do that. Sorry. The library. Somewhere quiet. Yeah, I did know that. Ooh, what you guys say? Hey, Luca.
Kato's eyes lit with excitement.
I've been expecting you. Bravo on deciphering the first riddle. The first? Oh, you didn't think that was all, did you? Rollo does go all out, doesn't he?
Kato straightened up and cleared his throat as if preparing to sing.
On planet Farpool, you may take issue. When the 5th king dies, you'll need a tissue.
Kato stared at Luca eagerly.
Got it? Want me to tell you? No, it's okay. Let me figure it out. Alright, when you find it, bring it here to be verified. And if you decide you want a hint, the offer still stands. Planet probably may take issue. I'm gonna go with the 5th issue, probably of Hank Atomic. Okay, I just want to talk to maybe I should get the book first. I don't want him to tell me the answer. It's apparently what a bunch of people have been doing.
Luca grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue number 5, from the shelf.
Perfect. Ah, you found it.
Kato removed his book from the desk and replaced it with Luca's, turning on the lamp. As he slid the book under the purple light, 2 words glowed. The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue 5. Luca clicked his tongue with recognition.
Rollo's cipher pen. He used to write secret messages everywhere with that. Only I had the special flashlight needed to reveal it. But I lost it. Apparently he traded Jeff for his purple light bulb. Part of his entire Halloween candy stash. Oh, Rollo. Now let's see here.
Kato began flipping through the pages, stopping when he hit a glowing word.
I do have questions about why this man let him deface a library book. That seems not ideal, but okay. Get away with such a grift.
He continued flipping.
Only found in grab cart.
Reaching the end of the book, Kato looked up.
That's it. Grift in grub cart. Grift in Griffin. Griffin's grab cart. Wants me to go to Griffin's snack stand? Aha! Brilliant. Guess you're off then? Good luck on the rest of the scavenger hunt. Thanks, Kato. At least he also spoiled it for me. I didn't know. Sorry, guys. Hey, Jace. Still working through the newest Hank Atomic? You know it. A fascinating canon toward the end. Did you know? Hank Atomic's shrink-o ray doesn't technically shrink stuff. It uses inverse quantum particle decay. Literally grow the entire universe around an object. That doesn't sound good. Leaving that object unaltered. Which just looks like it's shrunk compared to everything else. Bingo. That's wild. But Jace, no spoilers, please. Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, no, I I would much rather shrank things than continue to size the universe up. Because that seems dangerous. Okay, to Griffin. I guess I shouldn't go too far off the path. Okay, let's talk to Griffin now. Go to Griffin's snack stand. Hey, Griffin. Did Rolo come?
Before Luca could finish his sentence, Griffin handed him a corn dog.
Oh, that's it? Bought and paid for. Enjoy. I thought there was supposed to be a riddle or something.
Luca shrugged, taking a sizable bite out of the corn dog.
Yuck. It's cold. Oh yeah, it's been sitting here for a while. Rolo wanted me to be sure to give you that one specifically. Well, that's just...
Luca tongued at his cheeks, feeling something rough between his teeth. He reached into his mouth and pulled out a slip of paper.
Oh, come on.
He shook off the bits of corn dog to read the slip.
A pickup when you need some pep. Near the fountain, up the step.
Luca finished off the remainder of the corn dog.
It's getting to be a whole thing. Yep. Left his cereal. That was his name? Her name? Their name? I don't know. There you are, Luca. There's no way I'm actually doing this. Way below my pay grade. Oh, come on, you big stiff. Let the kids have some fun. Fine. But Rolo owes me one.
Lumi waved his hands around sarcastically as he began.
What takes flight but has no wings? Your final task of friendship bring. See, that wasn't so hard. Hard. I feel cheapened somehow. I think it's sweet. Do you think they're dating or just friends? Good luck, Luca. Suppose it doesn't really matter. Okay. Huh. Takes flight but has no wings. Friendship brings... Mission control? That's Rolo! Oh, balloons. Makes sense. Hey! Hey! Did you find the comic book? Yep. And you got the corn dog? Yeah. Well then. I know it doesn't make up for what I said. But here, you've earned this.
Rolo sheepishly handed Luca the balloons.
Oh. Light. Thanks. You didn't have to go to all this trouble. I'm sorry I got so mad. Dang it, you were supposed to let me apologize first. Oh, sorry. Now you've apologized twice before me. Just let me do this. Luca, I'm really sorry. With everything that's happened with your mom and all, I've always wanted to be there for you. Be a good friend, you know? When you said you were hanging out with someone else, I kind of freaked out. Rolo, still my turn. I felt like if you needed some new friend to help you, that meant I wasn't good enough. But that was selfish and wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry, Luca. Okay, apology over. You can talk now.
Luca threw himself at Rolo, hugging him as tightly as he could.
Rolo, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you either. That's why we deserve each other. So, what else do you want to do today? You could snoop around and try to find some info about your mom. Snoop where? You could probably sneak into Perennial Harvest HQ while everyone's at the festival. Aren't you curious about the stuff those clipboards write down? What if we get caught? I think I've had enough excitement for 1 week. Let's just make the rest of the day about us. Really? Yeah, the rest of the world can wait 1 more day. You know, I have been wanting to get some work done on the MCTC at Mission Control. The game is a bit unpredictable. That sounds perfect. Okay. I just want to go and see if I can talk to the people up here, now that we can't spoil our treasure hunt. There's Dawn. Hey, Dawn. Dawn, I got a question for you. What do you think this whole festival is for? The way I figure it, Perennial Harvest is trying to win over the town. Like a bribe, but with balloons. Cynical. I like where your head's at. That's what I assumed at first, too, until I eavesdropped on a couple of gossipy clipboards. What if I told you that this whole thing is really a special shindig for a super secret guest of honor? A special guest? Who? I haven't dug that up yet, but whoever it is, PH thinks they're a pretty big deal. Perennial Harvest. I was like, who is PH? To the treehouse. Whoops, whoop. Sometimes I feel like I'm walking around here drunk. I'm so bad at controlling this thing. Not my fault. I mean, it probably is. No dad stuff. To the treehouse. Oh, I almost forgot. I ran into your gran this morning. She asked me to give you this.
Rollo handed Luca an unopened letter.
I'll wait for you inside if you want to read it now. Letter?
Luca, some things are going to happen that might be difficult for you to understand. If I am honest, I hardly understand them myself. But whatever happens, I need you to know that I love you. None of this is fair to you. You have already lost so much. We both have. I wish there was a simpler way forward. But if there is, I haven't thought of it. God knows I've tried. Everything I've done, I did for you. I hope someday you can accept that. Love, Gran.
I love you too, Gran.
Luca folded the paper into his pocket and headed up the ladder.
What's up with the letter? Anything you want to talk about? Maybe later. Sure, whatever you want. You know, you really didn't have to go to all that trouble just to apologize. I know, but we've been looking forward to the festival for weeks. After I ruined everything with my big mouth. This was just the best way to make sure you still had a good time without me. Rollo.
Luca was at a loss for words, but that was fine. Words aren't always necessary.
Festival seems nice. Was it nice? We can still go. Nah, this is fine. Well, there's always next year.
Sadly, this was untrue. A distant rumble shook the treehouse.
Huh? What was that? Did Gran blow up the... Why did she want us to stand near the fountain if she was gonna blow it up? Oh man, we missed the fireworks?
It was not fireworks. It was something the boys couldn't possibly comprehend. Something as old and cruel as time itself.
A monster? Have we gone Lovecraftian? Whoa. Was not expecting that one.
A shockwave of cold tore through the room. A bitter, unfathomable chill. Before they could react, it encased them in ice.
What on earth is this?
Two boys, reunited by friendship, only to be cruelly separated by a malevolence beyond reason. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a silent treehouse turned statuary, in a town brought low by its secrets, sits a pair of friends, alone, together.
Who do we think did the ice? Was it like a gran thing? Or a cur thing?
For the rest of time. The end. No, that can't be the ending. It simply can't. I won't accept it, and I hope you won't either. There are more endings, more possibilities. I can feel it. We are just going to have to sort through them all until we find the one that fits.
Okay, so we don't have any more options there. Oh, we can, hold on, I'm just gonna check the other options. Okay, we have one more, but I think we'll go through the interrogation, because we've done that one most recently. Hard cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation. Rollo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times. Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well. Mr. Tolliver. Not sure how that was supposed to sound.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver.
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now hold on. Let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. It's an odd saying. As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or... Well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You tied me down! How on earth could I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Spill the beans. What are you doing poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper. Make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran? Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, eh? Blow up the festival? Good lord.
He shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's where
His voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold. Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Why do we think he passed out? Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source? It's where the town began? We need more information. Yeah, but you'd better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the History Museum? It just got set up for the festival. Nah, that tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. Is there any information about this source thing? Cato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. No, we didn't even have to walk here. Alright, Cato. This is a dang nice library. Thanks. We work hard on it. Aren't you a little young to be a librarian? Oh, Kato here hung out so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Miss Novak sometimes. They got you working for free? It's quiet, and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. I already told you in Rollo. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing. We sorta don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, death, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8. 6 feet under, 3 towns over. The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life. He read so much boring crud, his brain oozed out his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you got a better idea, spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. And it won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record. Really? That's the best you got? When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just like...
Beck slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing...
Oh, fuck, sorry. J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey! We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that name, Beck? In the obit? J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune, 20 years ago. That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my gran's name. Juniper Hartford. Maybe there were 2 J. Hartfords? Mrs. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Gran is dead? Why would no one have told us? Now we're going back to my theory that his gran is not his gran. But wouldn't he have noticed? I guess he wouldn't if she died 20 years ago, because he's 12. But he did seem to imply that he had met her before, while his mother was alive. So she would know if it were her mother or not, right? Okay, this is getting creepy. If your gran is 6 feet under, 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
Alright, gang, I got clothes up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10. Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something.
heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement. Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering.
There's Gran. Or not Gran.
He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
Okay, let's go see if she found Tolliver. The door does seem to be open. Wouldn't she have been in the kitchen? Oh, okay. Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace?
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. Just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
That doesn't seem like a good idea. I'm afraid your jam delivery will be delayed.
He flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Okay, now I can think. I don't feel good about this. If Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she does know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing's wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Go to sleep. Okay. I'm nervous about that jam we just ate. Oh no. Oh no! Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter.
Yeah, the jam.
He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
The jam. Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luca groaned and tried to move. His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The jam? Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? You think she's taking us to bed? Rest now, and let me handle everything.
Chapter 9. A speech to end all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him? Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed? Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
Festival! Okay. Let's go to the festival. Okay. And Gran won't be here. That's still open though. We see if she took her explosives. Let's see if she took the explosives. No, they appear to still be here. Although maybe I just wasn't supposed to check. It's possible. Okay. To the festival. Where are we gonna meet Beck and Rollo. I don't remember if we said. Oh, there we go. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one. This one was intended for Mr. Nuncreed. Put me to sleep. Whoa, ho, ho. Fly devil? Fly. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around, but we haven't seen anything odd. Your gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around, waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Is this thing? Hello, Beacon Pines. I am Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and I suppose you already know that. Oh, yes. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone?
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Ah, heck. I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. It would be a shame to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
So, community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I'm dang gum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. It's been here for 4 years. I definitely didn't get that impression. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. See that the people of this town, despite suffering a great loss, still held onto the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment. Change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
Into a future we will shape together. And this is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. Ooh. What was that? I do think we'll find out what that was next time. Do like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye!